So we are back and we have recorded all of our parts. So in this case, you'll see I have, I have a bass part and I have a vocal part. So going back to the beginning here. So one thing that you want to make sure that you do with each of these is that you name it. You go and double click whatever the track is, and this one I've named bass. This one vocal, this one could have been, guitar licks or whatever it is that you're going to choose. So if you go back and you listen, now my vocal obviously kind of sucks, and I didn't record a vocal for the whole song, but so there's a bass line. Why you headed for the There's a vocal. There's everything together. So the next thing that you have to do is you have to get your recorded parts back to us so we can put it in the main mix, and we can add effects as well, because you're going to record these dry. So there's not going to be reverb. It's not going to be anything added on there, and we can add all those effects secondarily, except with the guitar, particularly if there's a particular effect you want to use, maybe you can try that. But I would tend to suggest leaving the vocal dry. So what you need to do is you need to send us each track individually. So the way you send a track individually is you solo that track. So for example, here's the bass, and I click on this little headphone thing, and see it says solo on solo track. So you'll just see that track highlighted over here. And then the way to do this is you go up to share, and the easiest way to do it is to send the song to iTunes and then deal with it in iTunes. So I'm sending the song to iTunes. So this could be clicked on compress. We don't want it compressed. Compression will make it an MP3 file. It's much better to have a large file and to send it via something like Dropbox. I don't know if you guys have Dropbox. It's free. I highly recommend it. It's a very easy way for you to send big files to us, because each of these tracks is going to be probably about 40 megs, and you're not going to be able to email it to us, because at least for my email it'll bounce back. So if you don't have Dropbox and you can't get it, we can talk about compression and making an MP3 file, which will make it much smaller. But the best thing to do to keep the sonic quality of it is to make sure it's not compressed. And you'll see it's going to just randomly Michael Silver's playlist, and it has all that in there. So let's just send it there. So what it does is GarageBand reads it and creates an AIFF file of it, and it automatically opens it in the playlist, and we want to listen to it. All right, so there's no bass in the beginning of the song. So there's the bass line. So you now just have to, this is pretty easy at this point. So the first thing that you would do is you'd rename it, because everything that's going to come off that file is going to come off as labeled as mom and dad. So your vocal is going to be mom and dad, your guitar. If we get to drums eventually, it's going to be just the same as the song name or the file name at that point. So the first thing we do is we go in there. There's a couple ways to do this. You can, I think there's a way to do it via getting info on the track, and my Mac, as you can see, is being overloaded right now. Uh-oh. All right, hold on. Well, this casts a damper on things. It's a very easy thing, except if your computer is being overloaded, which mine is. So, let's see if I can force quit. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording right now. Let's see. Maybe if I go into let's force quit. iTunes is not working, so we're going to force quit iTunes. This should not happen ordinarily, so I'm going to go back into iTunes, and I'm going to go to Michael Silver's playlist. There we go. So anyway, the easy way to change the name of it is I just click on the song name and go to the end, and I name it Michael Silver's bass line or guitar part or vocal or whatever. So then you would go back to GarageBand, and you take the headphones off the bass line, and you go to the vocal, so just the vocal, and then you do the same thing. You share, send it to iTunes, It's going to go to the same place. You'll see it there again. Now again, you see it just named Mom and Dad. Back in the drawer. But it's the vocal. So we're going to rename that. And for some reason, my computer is not cooperating with me. Your computer should not do this. Okay. I will figure out what's going on in a minute, but in any event. So if we go back down to the playlist, whoops, playlist, it's not there, and that's really annoying. Okay, let's try this one more time. Okay, so there it is. Mom and Dad. Right. Okay, so there's the file. Rename it. There. So now what we have to do is get this back to us. And the easiest way to do this is to, you know, again, here's my Dropbox file up here. I would open up the Dropbox folder right there. I could simply, sorry. So there's my Dropbox folder over here. Here's iTunes. I could simply take this and drag it right into the Dropbox folder and do the same for this one. And because they're big files, you know, they take a little while to render in Dropbox. But when they did, I could simply go into them and you would just share them. Share the Dropbox link, because it's not yet uploaded. But essentially, I mean, we can do this. Is not a musical question, but once it does, this takes a couple minutes. Once this does render and reload, you would simply share the link, or you would create the link and then go into your email and just send us a copy of the link, and then we would have your part. That's basically all it is. Yeah. If you have any questions, you can ask me. I know this has been fairly long, like 12 minutes, and probably really boring, but this is an easy way to record onto tracks and send them back to us. And that's it. See you guys later. Bye.